What's going on, y'all, man? Welcome back to the Switch Podcast. I am your host, Keywan Humphreys. Y'all see the title, y'all see the thumbnail, man. We need to have a serious conversation about the Milwaukee Bucks. Last night, they were beat 122-99 against the Memphis Grizzlies, and that extends their losing streak to 4 games, and their record is now 1-4 in the season. Now, I just want to look at their last 4 losses. You have their first loss of the season coming against the Chicago Bulls, 133-122. The Brooklyn Nets, 115-102. They lost to the Celtics on Monday, 119-108. And tonight's game against the Memphis Grizzlies, or last night's game against the Memphis Grizzlies. Man, this is not good. You look at those scores, you listen to those scores, and there's one common denominator with all those losses. The Bucks defense sucks. The Bucks defense is really, really bad. They can't stop a nosebleed. They can't stop a runny nose. They can't stop a moving car. I mean, not a moving car. They can't stop a parked car. And that is really, really bad. Really, really concerning when you think about the fact that their whole issue last season was that they could not get any stops. They fired Adrian Griffin because they said our defense is not good enough to win a championship. They fired him, and their defense stayed the same. And it's just, oh man, I would understand if you're a 1-4 playing against good teams. Your only win this season is against a Philadelphia 76ers team that's not that good. I say that because, dang, I had a brain fart. I say that because Tyrese Maxey is really the only guy playing for them. There's no Joel Embiid. There's no Paul George. It's just Tyrese Maxey. So you better go out there and win that game. But when you turn around and give up 133 to the Chicago Bulls in this game, and then right after that, you lose to the Brooklyn Nets, who are full steam ahead in the Cooper Flag tank race sweepstakes, that makes me feel a certain way about you. And, coming into this season, I felt like the Milwaukee Bucks were underrated. I thought they would be right up there with the Philadelphia 76ers when healthy, and Chicago Bulls, and the Boston Celtics and the New York Knicks fighting for that top team in the Eastern Conference. I said, hey, we're talking about the Celtics, we're talking about the Knicks, we're talking about the 76ers, but nobody's talking about the Milwaukee Bucks. They still got top 5, arguably top 3 player in the NBA, Giannis Antetokounmpo. They still got Damian Lillard, one of the best players in the NBA. I'm going to stand on it. I'm going to say Damian Lillard is still one of the best players in the NBA. He had a down season last year, and shame on me. Shame on me for thinking he wouldn't have a down season again this year. So far, he's not. He's averaging roughly 28 points per game before the game tonight where he only scored 4 points against the Memphis Grizzlies. Shame on me for thinking the Milwaukee Bucks defense will be better than it was last year. Shame on me. Shame on me for being optimistic about this team. Shame on me for thinking that they will be more lucky when it comes to health. Shame on me for that. Chris Middleton, your all-star, 3-time all-star forward, has not played a game yet. He's missed the first week and a half of basketball, and he's probably going to miss a decent more too after missing a lot of time last year, or using a lot of time last year, either out with injury or kind of trying to get back acclimated after the injury. It's just not a good situation right now. I know we're only 5 games in. I know that, and that's why I'm not panicking. But I can be concerned. I can be worried about this basketball team because this team is supposed to be so much better. And not part of the reason why I'm concerned is not just because of their record right now. It's because of who they got coming up. They have a home-and-home series against the undefeated Cleveland Cavaliers. Then after that, they play against Utah Jazz, which they should beat. They got to win that game. I know it's early for must-win games in this season, but the Utah Jazz is a must-win game because they're also fighting for the Cooper Flag championship, which is the first overall pick. Then after that, they got to go to the Garden and take on the Knicks, who are red hot when it comes to Karl Anthony Towns. He's playing really, really well. Then you got the Celtics again. So looking at the next 5 games, there is a real possibility that 1-4 could turn into 2-8. And that is not at all where you want to be. I don't care if you're in a weak conference or a strong conference. You don't want to start out 2-8. Because you already digging yourself a hole. And with this team's luck with injury, they can't dig themselves a hole because you never know when somebody's going to drop. You never know when somebody's going to get hurt. You never know. So these first couple of games should be a way of them meshing and figuring things out and showing us who they're going to be throughout the rest, who they want to be throughout the rest of the season. But they have not done that so far this season. 1-4, 4 straight losses. It's not good at all. Like I said, the defense is bad. They have no depth either. They have no depth. None. They still have relatively there's the same core with Dame, Middleton, who has not played yet, Giannis, Brook Lopez, Bobby Portis. They got no depth with that. And that's killing them as well. I think Dame and Giannis are averaging 28 points per game each heading into last night's game against the Memphis Grizzlies. So your two stars is getting you 56 points per game combined, and you're 1-4. What does that mean? You have nobody around them. Now, granted, the third guy behind them is injured, and that's Chris Middleton. Now, when Chris Middleton comes back, that should definitely help out the offense. But like I said, the offense is not the reason why they're losing games. Losing games because they can't get stops. They cannot get stops, man. And, what comes to my mind is a potential problem that could arise for the Bucks. A very, very bad thing for the Bucks that could arise if they don't right the ship. But before I get into that, I want to go back. I want to go back to just before training camp last season when Damian Lillard was traded to the Milwaukee Bucks. This trade went down. Everybody went crazy. We said, okay, the Bucks are a title favorite now. They went and got Damian Lillard. Yes, they lose Jrue Holiday, who was their defensive guy, arguably the best perimeter defender in the NBA. Yes, they lose him, but at the time, he just came off of getting 40-piece over and over and over by Jimmy Butler in the playoffs. So they said, fine, we're going to replace defense with offense. We're going to replace Jrue Holiday with Damian Lillard. Who, you know what I'm saying? I still don't think it's a bad trade-off, but the thinking was we lose Jrue Holiday, but our defense is still going to be really good. We still got Giannis, one of the best two-way players in the NBA. We still got Brook Lopez, who is one of the best rim protectors in the NBA when it comes to deterring shots and making guys miss shots in the paint. You got a bunch of perimeter defenders. Chris Middleton's not the best perimeter defender, He's all right. He's capable, but he's not a lockdown defender. But on the flip side, not only do you believe your defense is gonna have a slight drop off, but it shouldn't be too bad. But now you got Damian Lillard, one of the most dangerous outside scorers in the NBA, with probably the most dangerous inside scorer in the NBA with Giannis Antetokounmpo. How are you going to guard that? Fast forward from training camp to the first game of the year against the Philadelphia 76ers. They beat the 76ers. They came back, won the game. It was the end of the game. Dame got a wide open three-pointer because the defense was so focused on stopping Giannis from getting to the paint. And we said, there it is. That's the blueprint. Giannis, they either got to guard. You can't guard them both. Because you can't guard Giannis one-on-one. You got to wall up, and if you wall up, you leave him one of these shooters, and if that shooter's Damian Lillard, it's cash. Then Dame had a down year. Their defense was bad. They fired Adrian Griffin Sr., hired Doc Rivers off the NBA on ESPN commentating table. They hired him. They got worse. They fell from second in the East to fourth in the East. Giannis gets hurt in the last week of the regular season, misses the whole first round. Then Dame gets hurt in that series, misses the rest of that series. Then Chris Middleton got hurt but came back, and they lost in the first round to the Indiana Pacers. So okay, we lost in the first round of our first year together. Cool, fine. We're gonna re-up. We got a long summer. Re-up, come back, ready to go this season, and that has not happened. That has not happened through 5 games. And that is just it's not good. It's not good, man. It's not good. Because now you have to think about it in the way back of your mind. What is Giannis' breaking point? We've seen this. Don't act like we have not seen NBA stars want out when they feel like the organization cannot put them in a position to win championships. The difference is Giannis did win a championship in 2021. That was about three years ago. He won a championship in 2021. Due to, people getting injured. That was a very weird season. But what if I told you after that championship, they haven't made it back to the Eastern Conference Finals? The year following the championship, they've only made it out of the first round once of the last 3 years. Giannis Antetokounmpo and Damian Lillard and Chris Middleton. I know Dame wasn't on the team 2 years ago, but they had Jrue Holiday. They had a squad. They haven't made out of the first round the last 2 years. They've only made out of the first round once they won a championship. And now the way this team is looking, I'm not panicking. I'm just telling y'all what's possible. It's a possibility they may not make it out again. And if that happens, does Giannis want out? Does Giannis axe out? And as a fan of basketball, that scares me because I'm thinking, dang, where is he going to go? Because he's not going to just go to some... He's not going to come to the Hawks. He's not going to come to the Hawks. He would go to a really good team, make a good team great. And that would throw the balance off in a league that's already not balanced with the Boston Celtics being as good as they are with their stacked roster. So I think, man, what has got to happen? Number one, Chris Middleton's got to get healthy. You got to get Chris Middleton back. Number two, you got to find a defensive identity. You have to find some sort of defensive identity. If we're gonna play this game where, okay, we're gonna funnel everything to Giannis and Brook, then do that. But you got to find a way to get some stops. Because the Chicago Bulls scoring 133 points on you is not acceptable. The Chicago Bulls, that's not acceptable. No disrespect to Chicago and Chicago fans. They got to figure something out. I don't know what move they can make. I don't know. I don't know what move they can make. They went and got Pat Beverly last year. For what? He didn't change anything. But man, that's all I got for y'all, man. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, share with y'all folks, man. NBA season, full steam ahead, man. We are gonna be here to cover a lot of different stuff, to talk about a lot of different stuff, man. But until next time, we out of here. Yeah!